Hi again and welcome to my channel. Today I've got two book reviews for you and they're in the horror genre. These two books were amazing. They were brilliant. First of all, the first one is called Darkened Wings Flutter by Lou Yardley. Now, she's an indie author. She's very good. I recently read one of her older books called The Deal Maker, which was seriously creepy, and this one is no exception. I can read the synopsis to you, which is: the end is nigh when darkened wings flutter. The small town of Crowsfoot Hollow is thrown into turmoil when a local boy called Dwayne goes missing. For teacher Beth Harwood, it soon becomes clear that the nearby forest is connected to his disappearance. Clouded in mystery, scary stories, and haunting nursery rhymes, that forest seems like the kind of place to swallow a young boy whole. But the forest isn't the only thing you have to worry about in Crowsfoot Hollow. Sometimes the dangers are much closer to home. Chuck Graves lives next door to a family with their share of problems. A couple that always argues, a little girl called Imogen, who creeps the hell out of everyone, but they appear to be held together by little Ryan, who keeps on smiling regardless of what's going on. Everything appears normal, but Chuck can't help but wonder what's going on behind closed doors. Crawling with monsters big and small, Darkened Wings Flutter wants to get under your skin. Really great book. I rated it 4 stars. For me, it categorically give you an example of why you shouldn't trust what you see. Nothing is as it seems. It's so dark and so evil. It makes the insides of your stomach clench and your spine stiffen. It creeped me out. The author has once again gone up in the benchmark of horror. It's the kind of book that you aren't expecting the chills and the twists that are coming, but they still creep you out nonetheless. And some of it is just so gruesome, but so good, so good. The author knows what her readers are aching for when it comes to horror. She delivers time and time again. This book's no different. This book's only came out in the last couple of weeks, so it's brand new. But she delivers her narrative with such eye-popping clarity that it's amazing. You feel like you're immersed in the story. It is that good. But it makes you so deathly uncomfortable, so edge of your seat that you're not quite sure if you can move until you've finished it. It's that good. It's the kind of horror that unseats you completely. But the story, it travels towards you at 100 miles per hour. The pace is magnificent. And, you know, I felt like you wouldn't get that Kindle out of my hands for dust, not until it was finished. But I reckon if you want to read this, absolutely do, but cancel all your plans. Not that we've got many just now. But you will absolutely experience a high dimensional terror that will await you. It's fantastic. I couldn't recommend this book enough, but it was amazing. It was really, really good. So we have 4 main characters really. We have Chuck, Ryan, Imogen, and Beth. Yes, 4 people who couldn't be more different. They have valid reactions to situations. They have layer upon layer of mannerisms which have come to life. They come across as fictional characters. They come across as real people that you meet every day in the street for whatever reason. They they seem to gather a strength from life to guide them through the situations that this book brings to them. The events that spill out around the characters really reach out to the reader, and it breaks you down to such an extent that that book is going nowhere till you are finished. It is that good. It's fantastic. I mean, I would even class it as nobody was getting that book out of my hands. You wouldn't have prized that book out of my cold dead fingers. It was that good. And I was just totally there for the story. The story was magnificent. You got to take your hat off to the author, absolutely. It just dripped in a megaton of dread. Threatening dread. You knew something bad was going to kick off, but you weren't exactly sure what it was going to be. But it chills your body to the bone, absolutely. It's the perfect combination. And it's that kind of thing, excuse me, the perfect combination that you know is right when you've read a good horror book, absolutely. And I would say that Darkened Wings Flutter is an incredibly propulsive novel. It chills the marrow, and Yardley is proving just how fertile she is at the horror storytelling genre. I rated this 4 stars. I'm probably edging towards 4.5. Now, the second book that I'm going to review for you is not out until October. I helped beta read this one, so I'm really proud of that fact, and delighted that it's got this far. It's amazing. The author's lovely, and it is called Under Another Sun, and this is by the author D.M. Siciliano. I hope I pronounced that right. But I will read the synopsis for you, and maybe you could add it to Goodreads because it is fantabulous. So, a crack in time saves 99. But what do these ominous words mean? Ray is about to find out whether he's ready or not. His deceased twin sister, Raven, is warning him of impending disaster, but Ray can't seem to convince himself or his wife that he's not crazy. But Ray isn't the only one communicating with his sister. Raven's surviving daughter Amelia seems to know the things that defy reason, in a time when reason is slowly slipping away. When Ray's brother-in-law offers evidence of something terrible coming in the form of prophetic journals Raven wrote before her death, Ray can't doubt the truth any longer. The world is falling down. The family struggle to hold themselves together as the world they once knew and understood begins to collapse all around them, leading up to a cataclysmic end. Can Ray save his family in time? Now, this is an incredibly dark and gothic horror novel. It's multifaceted, strips the layers back piece by piece, chapter by chapter, page by page, and it examines the human condition. Absolutely examines the human condition. Examines our ability to decipher through trauma, through worry, through panic, through fear, and our ability to cope with grief. The main idea is Ray's twin sister Raven has died in a suspected drowning, I believe. Yes, a suspected drowning, and he's struggling. He's her twin. They have that connection. There's that twin knowledge, and they shared the womb, and he misses her. He misses her terribly, and he starts to question his own sanity. The author has created such an intelligent and deep novel on so many levels. Now she released another horror book last year, called Inside, and that is incredibly different, but also so good as well. I loved that novel as well, and that's how me and the author started communicating and working on this. And that is also a great book, but it's very different. It's more of it's a haunted house story and kind of young adult but horror, and it's also very good. I rated that 5 stars, and you should check it out because it's very good. But this horror it's a horror that is so realistically accurate, but it's palpitatingly dark. Our future is looking towards that of natural disasters becoming the norm. Global warming, not taking these threats seriously, pandemics, what have you. It's a light bulb moment for sure, and this book just highlights it completely. It relinquishes that hold that monsters in the closet, monsters under the bed used to have on us. That was what a horror story used to be about. It was those monsters. But what happens when is humans the real monsters here? Look what we've done to the planet. Look what we continue to do to each other. So it makes you really question who is the real monsters in this case. I had a lot of pleasure unfolding this book. The pages became one, the chapters just became one, everything merged into such a sublime story. I believe you'll love it too. If you love horror, you will love this. It's just a different type, but equally as scary in my eyes. So we have Raven, who is the twin sister of Ray. She is our protagonist in Under Another Sun. She has such a fist clenching, a fist clenching hold over the other characters. So we have Ray, who is her twin brother. We have Elena, who is Ray's wife. And we have Amelia, who is Raven's daughter. So she still has a hold over them. In good ways and bad ways, because it makes certain people question their sanity, makes the wife question the husband's sanity, but Raven is such an ethereal force to be reckoned with. She's there, she's trying to communicate these big atrocities that is about to happen, but she's experienced her own massive level of trauma in her life, and suffering, and she's doing good, although her methods may not be seen as such. And she knows things she has absolutely no right of knowing, but she does. And her journals, which you will come to know, her journals are a great source of foretelling and anguish, actually, for her ex-husband. But her journals are something that maintain the strands of her past and her future, our future, everyone's future. And, it maintains that grip on her trauma also. But yes, it's brilliant. The timelines come crashing together in the end, and it's like it's like a supernova exploding. It's beautiful. There's lots of colour. It's stunning, but it's destructive, massively so. This story had so many layers of tragedy, but the sublime storytelling. Oh, I was unwilling to put this book down until it was done. It just had a vice grip on my throat. I was struggling to breathe, but I had to finish this book. It was stunning. I loved it. I felt like I was living and experiencing this book. It was fabulous. I loved it. Yeah, but I would say that Under Another Sun is evocative and dreamlike, and absolutely don't be fooled by its beautiful cover. This story is as dark as night, and it's superbly inventive. I can't praise it enough. It's amazing, and I hope you all love it too. So that's me for today. Hopefully you've enjoyed these 2 reviews as much as I have compiling them, writing them. If you want to check out the actual blog, I will link it down below. If you want to check these books out in Goodreads, I will also link it down below. And I would really appreciate a subscribe if you enjoyed these reviews and would like to see more. I would be very appreciative. Thank you very much. Bye.